Hi, Joyce Stech here for the Joyce Stech podcast. Let's talk beyond the surface, guys. That's where we're going. And today we're going to talk about you're not undisciplined. You're blocked. Let's talk about that. Alrighty, ready to rock and roll. Hi, Joyce Stech here, your inner treasure activator for the Joyce Stech podcast. Let's talk and let's go beyond the surface. So today's topic is, you know what? You're not undisciplined. Yeah, we're going to get there. You're really blocked. And let's see if that's you. Because I'd like to clear something up like right away, right from the start. So if you've been telling yourself that you're stuck because you lack discipline, I just want to pause. I want you to just pause and just take a moment with me, okay? Because maybe discipline may be the wrong word, or maybe it's the way that you think that word is labeled and means. You see, if the word is wrong, the solution will be wrong. I'm going to run that by you again. If the word is wrong, then the solution will be wrong. So today I want to talk about why so many intelligent, aware, capable people feel like they're looping. And this might be you. Do you feel like you're looping? You think the same thoughts over and over again. You make the same promises to yourself, right? You make the same promises and you keep trying again and again. And why that has nothing to do with self-control. Breathe. You see, a lot of people come to me convinced that they're failing at discipline. They say things like, oh, I just need to try harder. Or, I need more willpower, Joyce. I just need more willpower. I don't have willpower. Or, I need to be stricter with myself. I just need to be stricter and harder on myself. But listen carefully, all right? I'm going to be shaking some ideas here, okay? But listen carefully. When effort, any kind of effort increases and movement doesn't, okay, let me repeat that. When effort increases, I got to try harder, I got to do more, I got to be stricter. But the movement doesn't. I don't believe that's a discipline problem. That's what I would call a block. You can call it resistance. You can call it something else. But I don't really think it falls under a discipline problem. Now, hear me out. Hear me out right now. I know we can have 50 million discussions on this, but just hear me out, okay? You see, when you mislabel a block as a character flaw, you end up fighting yourself instead of removing what's in the way. All right, just pause, just listen, right? When you mislabel a block as a character flaw, there's something wrong with me. What you wind up with, you end up fighting yourself instead of actually going in and removing what's in the way. Keep breathing. This is one of those breathing ones. So I want to take an opportunity to redefine a word that to me has been misunderstood for a very long time. Discipline was never meant to mean control. Originally, discipline was about what you do when you hit a roadblock. Discipline is not meant to be the roadblock. Discipline was about what you do when you hit a roadblock. Got it? So if a road is blocked, you don't grip the steering wheel harder. You don't yell at yourself for not driving well enough. You need to remove the obstruction or go around it. That's it. But somewhere along the line, discipline became a moral obligation. Somewhere discipline became pressure. Somewhere the idea of discipline became self-punishment, disguised as self-improvement. And that's, my friends, where I believe people get stuck. They start applying control where freedom of movement is what's actually required. Yeah. Now here's the important part. Most of you who feel stuck were never off track. Yeah, let me go through that again. These things are important because most of you who felt stuck, or you feel stuck right now, you were never off track. You were moving in the right direction. You just kind of misread the sign. And instead of questioning the sign, you questioned yourself. I call this a kind of like the dyslexia moment, where you see things are there, but they kind of reverse themselves on you, depending on what type of dyslexia you have. I have sometimes moments of stress. I love to reverse numbers, and sometimes words and sentences, right? But I do see this dyslexic moment in misreading words, misinterpretation of information, because people think that something is wrong with them when really something is backwards. Like dyslexia, it's not an inability, it's a reversal. You didn't fail at discipline. You translated the word incorrectly. And again, once the word is wrong, the entire strategy collapses. That's why trying harder hasn't worked. That's why motivation comes and goes. And that's why you feel like you're walking in circles. You're not broken. You're blocked. And there's a difference. You don't need more control. You need the obstacle removed. And very often, the obstacle is a belief. Sometimes it's a definition, not even yours. Sometimes it's a word that was never meant to define you. Never. Never in the first place. So here's a question I ask you, if you want to sit with. Not to answer immediately. Just notice what happens in your body when you hear it. Here it goes. If you stopped trying to control yourself, what might move naturally if the block were gone? If you stop trying to control yourself, what might move naturally if the block were gone? No forcing, no fixing, no promises, just movement. Because real discipline isn't about clamping down. It's about clearing the path so life can move forward again. If this landed for you, just let it work. Because sometimes the most powerful shifts happen when the struggle ends. And then movement returns on its own. Thank you for listening. This has been Joyce Stech your inner treasure activator for the Joyce Stech podcast show. Let's talk beyond the surface. Thank you, and have a fantastic moment in your life.